Wild boars, creatures once thought to dwell only deep in dense forests, are now flooding into the plains, devastating crops, and threatening the livelihoods of local people. In many areas near mountains and farm edges, scenes of fields torn apart, crops uprooted, and even livestock attacked have become all too familiar. Unable to stand by as their harvests are obliterated, Tony and his team have decided to take action. In today's video, we'll join them on a dual mission, traces in the mountains and testing their skills with aerial hunting to successfully confront these ferocious wild boars. On a clear day, Tony and his team arrive at a mountain near a residential area known as a hotspot for wild boars. The group swiftly deploys their tracking strategy, and soon enough, they spot their first target, a boar quietly emerging from the bushes. Seizing the moment, Tony takes aim and pulls the trigger. A single, precise shot rings out. Just when they think the area is secure, Tony suddenly notices fresh hoof prints etched into the ground. Without hesitation, he and his team expand their search radius, launching a full-scale hunt for the remaining boars. Gunshots echo relentlessly, marking the moments when their targets are brought down. On a clear day, Tony and his team arrive at a mountain near a residential area known as a hotspot for wild boars. The group swiftly deploys their tracking strategy, and soon enough, they spot their first target, a boar quietly emerging from the bushes. Seizing the moment, Tony takes aim and pulls the trigger. A single, precise shot rings out, and the boar collapses instantly. Just when they think the area is secure, Tony suddenly notices fresh hoof prints etched into the ground. Without hesitation, he and his team expand their search radius, launching a full-scale hunt for the remaining boars. Gunshots echo relentlessly, marking the moments when their targets are brought down. In another expedition, Tony and his team take on a bold new approach, hunting wild boars from a helicopter. From above, spotting becomes far easier. Herds of wild boars moving from grasslands or forest edges are quickly detected. However, taking them down is no simple task. Strong winds, high altitudes, and the speed of flight pose real challenges. With each precise shot, one kill, the boars fall one by one in the open clearings below. No time to rest. Tony presses on, scanning for new targets. The helicopter dips lower, leaping over dense thickets where wild boars often hide during the day. Whenever a boar enters the crosshairs, it's taken down within seconds. The speed, precision, and seamless coordination between the pilot and sharpshooter deliver an astonishing hunting efficiency. gunfire reverberates through the area, sending the feeding boars into a panicked stampede. But this time, there's no escape. Tony and his team swiftly seize the moment, delivering precise strikes and decisive shots, culminating in a triumph beyond expectations, restoring peace to a vast region. Stood out to you the most? Drop a comment below to share your thoughts. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications to catch every thrilling hunt coming up next. Although measures such as hunting are used in many countries to control wild boar populations, their effectiveness is limited due to the species' rapid reproduction. In Italy, for example, although hunters kill around 295,000 animals each year, the wild boar population is still increasing by 150% annually, an alarming figure. To improve the effectiveness of control, we not only rely on hunting, but also combine trapping with this method. This combination optimizes the killing ability, targeting even the most cunning individuals in the herd, thereby creating a stronger impact in limiting the wild boar population explosion. As usual, the traps are set in the evening, and we will return to check them the next morning. Everything was going according to plan, until the surveillance system reported an unusual situation. A wild boar had fallen into the trap, but instead of accepting its fate, it frantically tried to escape. The camera recorded it struggling, climbing out of the trap before disappearing into the night. Without hesitation, the team immediately armed themselves, quickly approached the trap area, ready to track and kill it before it had a chance to recover. Since it was late at night, we had to use the thermal scope to search for the target. As soon as we arrived, we scanned the area, and a familiar figure immediately appeared before our eyes. It seemed to have gotten tired and was replenishing its energy. We cautiously approached the target. The wild boar was still unaware that it had been targeted. Choosing a suitable shooting angle, raising the gun, aiming straight at the target, and pulling the trigger, the wild boar collapsed heavily to the ground. The escaped target had been taken down. However, the story did not end there. This area was right near the edge of the forest, where wild boars often came to forage. After walking around, the scene before my eyes left me stunned. Wild boars were scattered everywhere, more in number than expected. In the darkness, they were completely unaware of our presence. This was an opportunity not to be missed. Immediately getting into position, when everything was ready, we opened fire simultaneously. After a hail of bullets, half of the wild boars were taken down, while the rest had already fled. After a hail of bullets, half of the wild boars had been taken down, while the rest had already fled. However, with the thermal scope in hand, no matter which direction the boars ran, we could easily track them. Prioritizing those that had separated from a herd, they became easy targets to take down, without causing further commotion. Some of them panicked and ran towards the edge of the forest, but before they could disappear from sight, the accurate shots quickly ended their escape. There was no chance of escape. While tracking, we discovered a large herd of boars, moving in a herd and fleeing. Grasping their direction of movement, the group immediately accelerated and advanced to intercept them. Holding the gun firmly, when the herd of pigs appeared, immediately we opened fire at the same time. The first bullet was aimed straight at the leader of the wild boar, the one leading the herd. Then 1, 2, 3. One by one, the wild boars fell. After the rain of bullets, the battlefield was quieter, but there was still one survivor. A wild boar was bewildered, its bloodshot eyes staring at us, full of confusion, but also mixed with defiance. Without hesitation, I raised my gun, resolutely pulled the trigger, a perfect headshot that killed the wild boar in an instant. The sky gradually brightened. We began to move towards a farm after a night of intense pursuit. However, before we could relax, we discovered an unusual sign. A few cunning wild boars had sneaked inside, weaving among the herd of cows, taking advantage of the darkness to forage. The group immediately deployed their formation and approached carefully. Only about 50 meters away from the target, but the herd of pigs was still completely off guard, absorbed in digging without realizing the approaching danger. The atmosphere was more tense than ever. At this moment, every shot had to be absolutely accurate. A small mistake could cause the herd of cows to panic, causing uncontrollable chaos. The result was beyond expectations. In just a few seconds, the intruders were completely eliminated. The remaining pigs fled the farm in panic. After the intense battle, the dawn had just broken, dispelling the silence of the night. The resounding victory last night made the whole group excited, but at the same time, it also strengthened their determination to completely exterminate the wild boar herd to prevent future invasions. We speculated that the ones that had escaped must have retreated to the hills near the farm. Without hesitation, the whole group immediately moved, heading straight towards it. From the top of the mountain, through binoculars, we discovered the pigs lurking behind the trees. Quickly deploying tactics, we divided into small groups, silently ambushing in different positions. The gunshots echoed once more, ending all resistance. Each wild boar fell down on the spot. The wild boars in this area were not only huge, but also extremely cunning. However, no matter how agile they were, they had no chance of survival. Despite trying to run away, rushing at terrifying speed, gliding through each bush, looking for an escape route, the wild boar could not escape my bullets. It fell over and rolled down the slope. If we did not act promptly today, the consequences would be unpredictable. In recent years, the increase in the number of wild boars has become a serious problem for many farms. An adult wild boar can weigh from 80 to 150 kilograms, with a body length of up to 1.5 m, and their strength allows them to destroy fences, causing considerable damage to farmers. In particular, This herd of wild boars can destroy entire crops in just one night or destroy livestock barns. The serious problem is that wild boars have the ability to reproduce very quickly. A female can give birth to 6 to 12 piglets per year. The overpopulation of this species has caused farmers and livestock keepers to face terrible losses. The situation was now very urgent. We immediately started preparing for a wild boar hunt that night. Each of us in our group brought a specialized hunting weapon, flashlight, and thermal scope to observe the target in the dark. With the support of modern technology, we could observe the entire farm area and detect the location of the wild boars as soon as they started to attack. The action plan was very simple, but no less dangerous. We divided the team into small groups. Each group would approach from different directions to ensure that the wild boars could not escape or counterattack. After about 30 minutes of waiting, dark shadows appeared and disappeared behind the grass. The wild boars were about 500 meters from the farm area. The thermal scope showed that the saboteurs were gradually entering the farmland. We decided to attack from 2 directions. 7. The first target was a wandering wild boar, which would be a good opportunity to attack. After just a few seconds, a gunshot rang out, and the wild boar weighing more than 100 kilograms collapsed. The gunshot caused the herd of wild boars to panic, and they scattered and ran into the nearby forest area. Continuously firing, we took down 5 more wild boars.
Hey, what you got there, bud?
After the wild boars dispersed, we decided to move and search for a target. The results showed that a group of 20 wild boars were gathering near the grassy area. However, things were not too difficult as the thermal scope allowed us to aim it accurately. Although the weapon was equipped with a silencer, the continuous attack also caused the wild boars to panic. Unable to miss the opportunity, I immediately asked for support from my teammates. In the dark night, the gunshots kept ringing, and the saboteurs were eliminated one by one. We thought that the wild boars had retreated, but when we got closer, we suddenly discovered another herd of wild boars preparing to attack the barn area. Changing tactics, we attracted the attention of the wild boars with our cries. Then, seizing the opportunity, we aimed accurately at the vital spot and pulled the trigger. Perfect. 1 shot, 1 kill. Moving to the surrounding lands, as we approached the cultivated area, the herd of wild boars appeared from different directions. In particular, there were a few wild boars weighing more than 120 kilograms, extremely ferocious, destroying a cultivated area. We decided to surround and attack from many sides. With extremely fast reflexes, I shot accurately and took down this giant wild boar in just a few seconds. After 10 minutes of intense fighting, we continued to take down 10 more wild boars. Taking advantage of the chaos, a few targets escaped. Quickly following the trail, with their cunning, they used the tall and dense grass as shelter. However, that was completely meaningless. In the end, the wild boar herd was completely destroyed.
careful, bud. Always careful, bud.
After the bloody battle that night, we proceeded to clean up the battlefield. The carcasses of the wild boars were taken out of the farm area to avoid attracting other animals. The wild boar meat will be processed and used for economic purposes. Feral pigs, with a population of up to 6 million, have become a serious threat, spreading in at least 35 states in the United States, including Florida. Herds of feral pigs destroy natural ecosystems, plowing up the habitats of native animals and reducing biodiversity. Not only that, they are also the source of many dangerous viruses and bacteria, spreading diseases such as hepatitis, pneumonia, and many other infectious diseases, posing a risk to the health of humans and livestock. Faced with this alarming situation, the people of Florida did not stand idly by. They implemented many drastic measures to control the number of wild pigs, of which hunting is an effective solution. Last week, I and a few friends decided to participate in a wild pig hunt. In Sweden, the vast forests aren't just home to moose and brown bears, they're also a breeding ground for one of the most destructive invaders: wild boars. With rapid reproduction, incredible adaptability, and near unbeatable survival instincts, these animals are becoming a nightmare for farmers. It's estimated that the wild boar population in Sweden has exceeded 300,000, a staggering number considering the country's arable land. In response, the Swedish government has loosened hunting regulations, allowing hunters to control the population year-round. And today, I'm taking you on an intense hunt through these wild woods. Let's get started. We had high hopes for today's hunt. My friends and I headed into the remote forests of southern Sweden, a hotspot for wild boar activity, and the scene of constant damage to local farms. As we reached one of the most isolated spots on the mountain, we spotted a group of wild boars almost immediately. Without hesitation, we got into position. The first shots rang out, echoing through the woods. Although most of the boars scattered, a few didn't escape in time. We kept moving, scanning for new targets. Suddenly, a boar darted through the trees. I raised my rifle in an instant. Perfect shot. It tumbled and dropped to the ground, a clean takedown in a tense moment. While continuing our search, a group of wild boars suddenly burst out in front of us, likely startled by our presence. Reflex kicked in. I quickly aimed and fired. One target down. It wasn't the biggest, but it was enough to boost my morale for the battles ahead. The noise and scent of gunpowder clearly spooked the herd. They scattered in every direction. We split up and managed to take down a few more as they tried to flee. Lying low in ambush, I heard a faint rustle. A boar had entered my sights. From a good vantage point, I lined up the shot. One clean pull of the trigger, swift and precise. The target dropped instantly. Not the biggest prize, but a solid result. The sound of gunfire echoed through the forest, triggering more movement. Other boars began to appear. Every shot required complete focus. We aimed to drop any that showed themselves. With my trusty rifle in hand, I pushed through thick brush and spotted another wild boar. Chamber loaded, I steadied myself and pulled the trigger. Moments later, a few dark shadows darted through the bushes nearby. I tracked them and fired multiple rounds, adding more trophies to our tally. After a series of intense encounters, we pressed on. Luck was on our side today. Another boar moved slowly across an open patch. No way we were letting that chance slip by. A quick shot, and it was down. We immediately spread out to widen our search area. From time to time, gunshots cracked through the forest, a clear signal that someone in the group had just made another hit. You see, wild boars love dense, tangled areas, so we decided to sweep the surrounding underbrush, hoping to flush something out. Out of nowhere, a dark shadow charged straight at me, fast, frantic, and wild. Luckily, I was ready. I reacted just in time. A perfect headshot. The boar dropped mere inches away from me. Heart pounding. I knew I'd just dodged a real threat. No time to dwell on it. I had to stay sharp. Its pack could be close. And sure enough, there. This time, my shot was even quicker and cleaner. The hunt wasn't over yet. A large, fast wild boar tried to weave through the trees, looking for an escape route. I couldn't let that happen. One more gunshot rang out and the boar was down. After a long, exhausting day, all our effort had paid off. We successfully eliminated a good number of wild boars from the area.